Hello, my name is Matthew Serio, and I am one of the program directors at the Pennsylvania Council of the Arts, and I oversee the Pennsylvania Partners in the Arts partnerships. Thank you very much for joining me to learn more about the Project Stream grant process. If you would like to look at the guidelines for the Project Stream application while I discuss them, they are available online at our website listed on the screen, www.arts.pa.gov. You can find a link to the PDF of the guidelines at the bottom left of the home page. Here's a brief outline of what we'll be going over. I will talk about the Pennsylvania Council of the Arts. I'll give a background on the PCA funding streams. I'll talk about the Project Stream guidelines. I will talk briefly about eGRANT, about how it works and how to use it, and also Project Stream review criteria, as well as an application timeline. Pennsylvania Council of the Arts is a state agency in the Office of the Governor, created by Legislative Act in 1966. Our mission is to foster the excellence, diversity, and vitality of the arts, and to broaden the availability and appreciation of these arts throughout the state. The PCA is governed by a council of 19 members, 15 of which are private citizens appointed by the governor and confirmed by the Senate. The council sets the mission and goals for the agency, evaluates the PCA's progress towards these goals, formulates policies, and makes the final decisions on the use of public funds. The council has the final authority in granting the funds. We act on our mission through a variety of activities. Grants to the arts is, of course, our main activity, and we do this directly from the PCA and through regional partnerships throughout the state. Our partners make grants on our behalf, and we also have a number of initiatives that address specific opportunities. We provide technical assistance, such as the professional development and consulting funding, to our partners and applicants, as well as information to organizations. We have an updated website, which I suggest you visit, and we have a Facebook page with stories and additional information. In general, the PCA does not fund the following, and these expenses may not be used as a match for PCA funds: capital expenditures, activities for which academic credit is given, activities that have already been completed, and activities with a religious purpose. Performances and exhibitions not available to the general public, or those that take place outside of Pennsylvania. We do not fund cash prizes and awards, benefit activities, hospitality expenses, lobbyist payments, or competitions. Now to go over background of our different funding streams. Pennsylvania Partners in the Arts is a regionalized funding program of the PCA. A total of 13 local organizations administer PPA and serve all 67 counties in Pennsylvania by providing local administration, technical support, and a streamlined application process. PPA has created unprecedented access to state arts funding. The PPA goals include expanding constituent access to the arts by supporting a wide variety of local and community arts activities, encouraging and supporting local decision-making in the re-granting of state arts dollars, increasing awareness of and the advocacy for government support and funding of the arts at the local and state levels, and enabling the PCA to provide increased assistance to its broad constituency throughout the state. This is a diagram about where organizations go when they come to us for funding. The first question we ask, or if they contact their local Pennsylvania Partner in the Arts partner, the first question they will ask is, what is their average annual fiscal size? If they are over $200,000, then those organizations apply directly to the PCA through our Entry Track program. In Entry Track, they receive grants for operating support, but applying to Entry Track funding is not guaranteed. The average grant awarded in Entry Track last year was about $3,400. They range between $2,400 and $5,000. Once they have been in Entry Track for a few years and have a consistent track record of good panel scores, the organization can be recommended to the council to be transitioned into Arts Organizations and Arts Programs Track, or AOAP. AOAP is similar to entry track, but instead of applying every year, the organizations apply every 3 years, filling out an interim application in their off years. There is no cap to the amount of support they can receive from the PCA if they are in AOAP. The maximum grant awarded last year was $189,000, and the smallest in AOAP was $2,000, which is the minimum they can receive. The average grant was about $18,000. Now, if you are an individual artist, or the fiscal size of your organization is under $200,000, which would apply to most, if not all of you, then you are referred to your local PPA partner and encouraged to apply for a Project Stream grant. The maximum request in Project Stream is $2,500, and these can be awarded to organizations and individual artists. Last year, the average grant was $1,400. If you have been applying for 2 to 3 years in Project Stream, and you have an ongoing arts program and have consistently good scores through the panel process, you can then be recommended by your PPA partner or the PCA staff to our council for transition into Program Stream. In Program Stream, the organization applies every 2 years for panel review and submit an interim application which is reviewed by the partner in the off years. If the organization grows to a fiscal size of over $200,000, they can then be transitioned directly into AOAP without going through entry track. In Project Stream, where you will be applying, you apply to a regional PPA partner. You apply and are reviewed by a panel every year. The application is based on what you are planning to do, not what you have done in the past. The formula funding is based on the advisory panel assessment scores, the request amount, and the funding available. Now, this pool of funds is regionally based, whereas the other funding streams share funds across the state. This shows the flow of the application and panel review process. We start off with you, the applicant, applying through our online eGRANT system. The local PPA partner will select panelists from your region to review the applications. The panelists are artists, representatives from local arts organizations, they could be from business, they could be from local government. The partner then creates panel books which include the applications for review and the review criteria. Panelists have a few weeks to review the applications and the support materials. The partner will then hold panel meetings in their region where they score the applications using our review criteria. The scores go into a funding formula, and then the panel makes recommendations as to a cutoff point of what projects should be funded. The partner board takes the scores and recommendations of the panel and sets the level at which funding is awarded and approves the funding formula. The applicants who are awarded funding are then informed of their award amounts and are instructed to complete the award agreement online in eGRANT. The activities take place from September 1st through August 31st. Then you report back to the partner how the funding was spent through a final report also completed on eGRANT. Project Stream Guidelines. Applications must be submitted electronically through eGRANT and postmarked on or before Monday, June 22nd, 2015. They can be mailed, or you can deliver them to your PPA partner directly. All funded project activities must take place between September 1st of this year and August 31st of 2016. Please review the eligibility guidelines carefully. If you have any questions, contact your PPA partner prior to beginning your application. The project must be an arts activity conducted for the benefit of the public. For-profit organizations are ineligible. They also must take place in the PPA's partner service region and have a public component. You can submit multiple applications so long as they take place in different partners' regions, meaning if you are an artist and you are doing gallery shows, one in Pittsburgh, one in Philadelphia, one in Poconos, you can apply to each one of those PPA partners. Or if you're a choral group or something along those lines is if you're performing in different parts of the Commonwealth, you can apply for funding in each one of the partner regions, but only one application per partner. The applicant, if an individual, must be at least 18 years old. PPA project stream applicants may not apply for program stream, AOAP, entry track for the same grant period. So if you are being funded through those tracks, you may not apply for project stream. But you may apply if you receive funding in arts education residencies, preserving diverse cultures, and the professional development consultant grants during the same grant period. This is sometimes hard to understand, but seldom does it become an issue. PPA project stream applicants are eligible to receive support for activities in these two categories. Arts projects not conducted with or in venues owned or operated by organizations or programs that PCA already funds through program stream, AOAP, or entry track, and also projects that are conducted with or in venues owned or operated by organizations or programs the PCA already supports through those programs. There's a limited amount of funds available for these types of projects. Statewide, at least 75% of the project stream funds will support projects that are not conducted with or in organizations or programs already funded by the PCA. Your PPA partner with the PCA staff will determine whether or not your project is being conducted with or in a PCA-supported arts organization or program. You can ask the venue if they already receive funding from the PCA, or if you're partnering with a program, if they receive funding from the PCA. Grant requests may not exceed $2,500. Again, the average grant last year was about $1,400. Matching requirement. First and second time a grant is awarded, and PPA project stream recipients are not required to match that request amount. The third time and thereafter, recipients must show a one-for-one cash match of the funds they are requesting. PCA funds may not be used as a match for other PCA funds. The panel process. The applications are reviewed on the established criteria. Need for funds is not one of the criteria. Panelists rotate from year to year, so please do not rely on being known to the panel. The application is the principal source of information for review, so the application should be clear, complete, and compelling. The responsibility for making a case rests entirely with the applicant. Applicants may receive little or no support if information is missing, incorrect, or it's unclear to the panelists. The funding process. The PPA Partners Board of Directors review the advisory panel's recommendations prior to making their funding decisions. The PPA partner or PCA will notify the appropriate legislators before they notify the applicants. This gives the legislators an opportunity to congratulate you before you are notified. The award agreements may come with conditions, restrictions, and changes to them. If there is items in the application which are restricted or ineligible, there will be notes saying you cannot use any of the PCA money for those particulars. Appeals process. The PCA does recognize that errors may occur. Appeals must satisfactorily document the application was misrepresented or improperly reviewed. PPA eGRANT. A few points about this. There will be a demonstration of it. New users can create an account. If you do have an account, do not create a new login. Also, when you are creating your new login, if it's for an organization, do not make it staff person specific. Meaning, if it is for a ballet theater, make the login something related to the ballet theater, not the person applying. because that login cannot be changed and it will stay with that organization for as long as they seek funding. If it's an individual artist, obviously you can make it individualized to yourself. If you do not remember your login, contact your PPA partner. They can assist you. There is also a link on eGRANT that will help you find out what your login is. Hello, this is a demonstration on the Pennsylvania Partners in the Arts eGRANT system. The website address for this is ppa.egrant.net. There is no www in front of it. If you put that in, it will take you to the wrong site. So if this is the first time you are applying for Project Stream, you will click on the click here to register. If you have applied before, you will put your login and password, and this will take you to into the system, and you'll be able to apply directly to Project Stream and choose that. If you do not remember your account information, please click here. You'll be able to put in your login ID or email address, and you can find your password. If you are not sure, please contact your PPA partner. They will be able to look it up for you. Whatever you do, do not register your organization again. Creating multiple logins, or actually it will be creating multiple accounts in eGRANT will be very confusing for you. You'll have to go into different logins to get to different applications. It's better to have it all as one. If you are not sure of your login information, but you know your organization has applied before, please contact your PPA administrator and they will assist you. So I'm going to act as if I have not registered before, so I'll click here to register. Organization, put in PA California Arts. Login, it has to be at least 6. And I'll put that in again. Congratulations, successfully done it. Proceed. If you have already logged in, if you have the account and you log in, here on the side, I'll just give brief instructions. That is this information here. Drafts, if you started an application, you will find it under drafts. When you log in, that will actually be the first page that usually appears. Opportunities, it lists the opportunities that are available right now. There may be other ones there if you log in another time. If you're applying to Project Stream, you may see Program Stream there. Just because it says opportunities does not mean that your organization is eligible for them. So if there's other ones listed, the only one that you may be eligible for is Project Stream. So you click on Project Stream, and it automatically creates your application for you. So you can go in, and on the side here, instructions, applicant information, budget, your narratives, work samples, and then the submit. So the very first page is the instructions. I'm not going to read through all of this. This is all available in the guidelines. When you're done reading through that, it says what is eligible, what the criteria is for each one. So as you go through, you'll click on your partner, what your region you are in. Your PPA partner is based on the county in which your project will take place, not necessarily where you are located. If your organization is in Berks County, but you are applying for something to a project to take place in Allentown, you would actually apply to the Lehigh Valley Arts Council for that grant. So it's based on where the project is taking place. Here you would put in your federal ID number if you are an organization, or your Social Security number. It must be in this format, though. It will not appear on the application, so that information will be safe, but we will need it for our records. the type of application. You can be an individual, you can be an organization, it could be a government body, a municipality, or a fiscal sponsor. You are not required to have a fiscal sponsor if you're an individual or if you're not a 501c3, but if you do apply for grants, you don't have a 501c3, but you have a fiscal sponsor that you run your grants through, that is who you would put in as a fiscal sponsor. So I will just do this as individual. Name of the applicant or the organization. If there's a parent organization, for example, if it is a gallery at a university, you can put the gallery's name here, and then you can put the name of the parent organization at the university, address, general information, contact person. This is the person we should contact with any questions we have about the application, contact and the title and the email address. For applicant information, this is who's authorizing it. This is the signature of the board president or the executive director. It's not necessarily the same person who is filling out the application. It can be. Also research who your state house district is, the Senate district, and the congressional district. You can click on here to verify your district information. Have you previously been funded through the PPA? That's a yes or no. And then put in the years in which you've received funding. Here, your venues. You can list up to 5 project venues. Please use a physical address. Do not use PO boxes. If your venue has not yet been determined, put the applicant's address, but do address that in your narrative. You will have to have permission from the venues when you apply. If you're going to list them here, you will need letters from the venues stating that you do have permission for the event to take place there. So you can list up to 5. Give a short, the project title, give it a short title if it's different from the organization's name. The discipline, where it falls under. There's a lot to choose from, playwriting, presenting, chamber, choral, choose one of those. Project director's name, the project title, project director's title, email address, and the phone number we can call with any questions. Will this project be conducted with or in organizations funded through the PPA program stream, AOAP, or entry track? Yes or no. You can find out this information through the PPA partner, and also address this in the other part of the webinar. If you are in the Philadelphia area, if you are in Bucks, Chester, Delaware, Montgomery, or Philadelphia, is it a regional project? Does this take place in more than one county? Please answer yes or no. The next page, the budget page. You will need to put in your the beginning project date and when the project will end. Remember, these need to be between September 1st of 2015 and August 31st of 2016. Then put in your income. Do not include in kind. You're going to put in your income. Also put in your, this is where you put in your request amount of how much you are asking. You cannot put in more than $2,500. If you do not have, if this is your first or second time applying in Project Stream, you are not required to show other income. Advised to, but you're not required to. And also match if this is secured. If you're going for a certain grant, but you don't know whether or not you've received it or not, you don't hit secured. If you know you will be receiving money, if it's already in your hands, please check that. Project expenses. This is all of your project expenses. This is not just for the match. So be as detailed as possible and list your entire project budget, not just for the amount that you're requesting. This is very important. Please show your entire project budget. And then we get into the narratives. I'm not going to go into detail on these. there is a character limit of 5,000 per box. We talk about the project description, the goals and objectives, and the artistic qualifications. Please answer all of the questions. Do not leave anything blank. The first one is on quality. The second one will be on access. And the third one is on management. It gives you an opportunity to give detailed explanation on key points in your budget and the qualifications of the key staff members. This is beyond the resume. Last one is work samples. There are required support materials, such as a resume or biography of key artistic administrative personnel. Please keep it to one page for each one, not multiple page resumes or one page biography. If it will be, and as I mentioned before, if the project will be presented in a venue that is not controlled by you or your organization, submit a one-page letter signed by the venue that says that you have permission and they have their willingness to host your event. If you are an organization, a copy of the letter certifying that you're a 501c3. Individual applicants, a letter of intent signed by all the participating artists indicating their commitment to participate in this project. Optional support materials, PowerPoint slideshows, a DVD, a CD, publications. If there's something else that you're thinking about submitting and you're not sure, please contact the PPA partner and submit 2 copies of the same work sample. And then in this box here, please list what you are submitting so they know when they receive the package that they received everything that you sent. If you want the work samples back, include a self-addressed stamp envelope with enough postage that they can ship it back to you. If not, it will sit in the office or it may be discarded. And after that is all done, you can go to Submit. On the Submit page, when it gets there, it will list if you have missed something, and you can go back to each part. If you planned on going back to it and you forgot to, it will tell you if something is missing all the way through. When it is all done, it will allow you to submit. One of the points I do want to stress, if you can, type up your narrative in a separate Word document and cut and paste into eGRANT. It may time out if you take too long to type it in and then your work may be lost. It's better to type it up in Word and then cut and paste into eGRANT. That way you will have all of your information saved. If you have any questions, please contact your PPA partner, and I hope this was informative for you. Now let's talk about the project stream review criteria. These are the criteria which the panelists are given to review your applications. Your application will be scored on how well you address these bullet points. I want to point out that this criterion is quality of artistic product, process, and or service. Product or process is pretty easy to identify. If it is an individual art show, or if you're doing a performance, that's artistic product. Process is if you're providing a workshop or demonstration, things like that. So that would be based on the resumes of the individuals performing it. Service is sometimes a little bit tricky. If you are holding a dance consortium which you are providing a service to other dance organizations where your organization itself is not performing the dances, but they're just hosting the event, that would be a service. Please be very specific about what you are providing. Go into detail. If you've done other ones in the past, you can describe those, showing marketing brochures, things like that, something which they can judge quality. For access to the arts, You need to demonstrate that you know who your target audience is and explain how you plan to reach not only your target audience, but the general public as well. It is sometimes quite easy to address the first part, but remember that you need to also include the general public. In management, be sure that your budget is appropriate and explain any expenses that are unusual. Go into detail in your narrative beyond generic line items on the budget page. Show evidence in your narrative that you're developing other support if you can. Mention if you're reaching out to businesses or if you're receiving in-kind advertising or who you are sharing services with other artists or organizations. Supply resumes and board lists with their business affiliations. This will demonstrate that your organization has the structure to support the project. If you are an individual artist or group of artists, give your artistic resume and be detailed in your plan for the project. Show that you have thought it all out. A few notes about the narratives and support materials. This may seem like a simple point, but answer the questions asked. Avoid using boilerplate statements that you use in other grants or requests for funding. Make sure that you're answering the questions. Have someone not involved with the project read the narrative. As artists, we often use terms when talking about our art or field that are not generally known. The panelists may not understand what you're talking about in your narrative. If you have someone not involved with your project or someone that's not in your organization read over your narrative, they may catch those terms or spot something that needs to be clarified. If you are a first-time applicant, see if your PPA partner can look over it before you submit it. Or even if you've submitted before, check if they have the time to look at it. Do not assume that people know who you are and what you do. As we mentioned, the panelists rotate from year to year, or they may not be from your area. They're from your region, but not necessarily from the city or your town. Use support materials. The question of required versus optional. There are required materials which, if not included, may keep your application from being reviewed, or the panel will be told that they were required and that you did not submit them. This would, of course, affect your scores. There are also optional support materials which, although not required, are highly recommended. Highly recommended. I cannot stress this enough. One of the biggest complaints from panelists is not having anything to judge the quality on. Please provide recordings of previous performances, brochures, samples of other work. If this is a first-time project, then explain that and give outlines or sketches of what you are planning on doing. And remember that the burden of the presentation is on you, the applicant. The nice thing is that the panelists are pretty much scoring your application on what you are providing them. You control what they see. The other side of that coin is the panelists are scoring your application on what you provide them. If you don't mention something or do not show them something, they won't know it. The timeline. As I mentioned before, the applications are due electronically and postmarked June 22nd. During the month of August, the partner will be holding their panel meetings and will be reviewing the applications. In September and October, applicants are notified, grantees are invited to attend award ceremonies, and also your grant award agreements are due before you can receive funding. Of course, the activity period is between September 1st of this year and August 31st of next year. And September 20th of next year is postmarked and electronically submitted your final report, which is also done online. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this today. If you have any questions, please contact your PPA partners for your region. Again, there is the eGRANT website address, as well as the website address for the Pennsylvania Council on the Arts. This is the PPA Partners in the Arts contact phone numbers. You can find it if you know who is the partner for your region, or look for your county on this screen. Thank you and have a good day.